girl Bella. Brown girl Bella. Brown girl Bella.
Welcome in, DOD.
Brown girl Bella.
April, Sissy Pooh. Greetings, DOD, again. Hey, Burns, welcome in.
Brown girl Bella.
Hey, everyone, don't forget to like and share. April, you behaving yourself today? Oh, this is gonna be
Brown
fun.
girl Bella.
Hey, squad. Hey, foodie squad. Welcome in, everybody. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you care, please share. I am in the process of sharing myself out, so give me a moment to do that. While I'm doing that, let's say hello to everybody. Hello, DOD. Hello, Burns. Hello, April, Foodie Squad, my sissy poos. Everybody is here. We're going to have some fun today. I wasn't going to actually do a live today. I wasn't feeling up to it. And then I got an invitation to someone's stream. And in the stream, they started talking about signs and compatibilities. And it made me realize, I have one of the most unique signs out there. You can debate me on this. You can debate me on this. But let's dig in deeper. When you think about the sign of Virgo and the characteristics of a Virgo, it's everything that you look for in a coworker, in a boss or a leader, in a partner, in a friend. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more. But as I started thinking about it, I was like, wow, this sign is really kind of unique and set apart from the other signs because there's always something in another sign that just does not clash well with another sign. But when you think about the sign of Virgo, which I fall under, we really tend to get along with just about everyone. So I thought I would, in honor of my upcoming birthday next Thursday, or is it next Wednesday? I always forget what day my birthday is actually on every year. I think it's on a Thursday next week. So yes, a week from today, I will be another year older. And as I thought about it, I was like, wow, let's dive into Virgo a little bit more. Let's talk about it and let's find out if there's another sign out there that quite compares to what we bring to the table. Like I said, it's debatable. You can fight me on this, but I think you will see my reasoning is very methodical and logical, just like my sign. So let's have fun, everyone. Hi, Sunday. Hi, Viper. Welcome in. Welcome in. I met these two at DOD's earlier today when we were talking about the signs. And so I'm glad that they both joined me here today. So we're going to talk about first how to treat a Virgo. Because I don't think everybody knows quite what to make of us. And depending on, which side of us is coming at you, you may not know how to handle it. So let's delve into how to treat them. First, don't underestimate the gentle Virgo. Virgos are very distinct and they're very virtuous people. They're perfectionists. Virgos can be hard to please, but if you're capable of it, they will be extremely loyal and loving. Remembering to be considerate and loyal will help you build a better relationship with any Virgo in your life, whether he or she is a friend, a family member, or a romantic partner. So I talked about that a little bit earlier. And one of the things that I was saying in DOD actually was not to play mind games with the Virgo, because the Virgo views mind games and manipulation, as dishonesty. We view it as something sneaky and something that's beneath us as who we are, and will also spot pettiness a mile away. That doesn't mean that we can't be petty, because trust me, we can. But they won't respect or trust you if you're manipulative about it. There you go. They won't like it. I know myself personally, if I feel like I'm being played, I'm going to cut you off with a quickness. I'm going to really say bye-bye to that situation, because I don't like to be manipulated. I don't like to be used. I don't like to feel like I'm being made as a pawn in some kind of secret game that somebody's playing. So I will definitely sniff it out and cut it out of my life, root it out totally. So that's one thing that I would say about my sign that you really need to watch out for. Also, be considerate of the Virgo's feelings. Understanding what's going on inside of Virgo's mind is kind of a mystery to those who are around them, because we never really let people in enough to really understand what's going on. And we are capable of disguising our feelings very well. But if I'm brought to the point that I'm displeased or I'm expressing displeasure about something, often it's kind of like, oh, I didn't even know that bothered you, because I didn't verbalize it in the beginning. And I'll kind of let a lot of things go that I see and other Virgos that I know tend to follow suit in this. We kind of let a lot of things roll off our backs, mainly because we're storing that information for later. And I'll get to that in a moment. But Virgos are very patient. They're very kind. Like I said, they're very considerate. And their patience and kindness goes far. But when it's gone, oh, it's gone. They can bottle their feelings up out of politeness and then later explode, or worse, simply drop you. And that's what I was talking about before. Like, we'll build a lot of things up and then it'll get to that final point and we'll be like, I'm done. I'm done with the situation. It's a wrap. Paying attention to your own kind of upkeep and how you are. Virgos are very much perfectionists. I remember somebody had asked me something about grooming, and I'm like, excuse me, I'm a Virgo, so I'm always going to be groomed. My hair is going to be done. My nails are going to be done. I'm going to smell good. I'm going to look good. And if you need help with that, I would, as a Virgo, absolutely help you out without malice, because I really want you to present yourself in the best light. So that's why I said Virgos make very good friends, because I'm going to always try to help you shine, help you be the best person you can be. I want to also talk about when a Virgo feels strongly about something. Hi, Yemi. Welcome. Yemi's a Virgo as well, so he can talk about the man perspective. But we're talking about the females right now. So when a Virgo feels strongly about something, don't try to change their minds about it, because they've put thought into it, they've put research into it, and they're not going to back down from any argument. We're extremely observant. Nothing escapes our sight. Nothing escapes us. And in terms of a debate, we're matched. It's on. Pound for pound, you will not find another person who will debate a subject to its core more than a Virgo. They will debate you to the ends. I would also say not to take us for granted, because we are fiercely loyal and because we give 100%. Once we make up our minds that we've been wronged, we will show you the door with little drama. We'll just say, you know what? This is a one-sided relationship or friendship, and you will get the one-way ticket out of our lives. And that may seem cruel to some, but in fact, it's very methodical of a Virgo to disengage with you emotionally, because their logical side will not allow us to mope and wallow in something for long. So if we're done, we're just done. It's not, nothing personal. It's not up for debate. It's not up for discussion. We will just simply move on. And once we have, it's nearly next to impossible to win us back once they've moved on. Airplane mode. Yes, we are very much like that. Airplane mode. Like, there's no coming back. Once we're done, that's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's done. Virgos are sensitive creatures who typically hold themselves in high regard because they've put a great deal of effort into everything they do. So I was telling someone earlier today, compliments like, oh, you're my best friend, or you look beautiful today, really go a long way in making a Virgo happy, because they feel like their efforts haven't gone unnoticed. And they will usually compliment you back And when we do compliment you, it really is very sincerely. Hey, Caffeine and Sarcasm. Welcome in. Bree Bree, welcome in. Virgos will treat you very, sincerely, and a Virgo lover will reward you enthusiastically if we feel like that compliment was genuine or that sentiment was genuine. Okay, so we talked about some things that flatter us. I want to point out some things we're not too pleased with. Because we're Virgos, we are sometimes our own worst enemies. So we know our flaws before you can pick them out. And so don't point out our flaws because we are very much well aware of them. And when we're not able to look or act our best, we're very agitated by that situation. So you pointing it out will only highlight what we've already kind of beat ourselves up about. So never insult a Virgo. Just don't do it. Or embarrass them. They're very hypersensitive to criticism, and they do not forget or forgive. Let me underline that point. They do not forget or forgive humiliation. That, I don't know if there's any other female Virgos in here, but I will tell you, oh boy. My mother, quick story time, my mother had brought me up to her job, and she was like bragging to somebody about me, like, oh, my daughter's this, my daughter's that, da, 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 da. The only problem is she's very stubborn. She doesn't listen. And I was so furious with her because I felt like giving me a backhanded comment, like, she's great and all this stuff, but this is what, I don't like about her. And I threw out all the nice things that she said about me. Viper says she's not a Virgo, but it seems like me. Yeah. I mean, I threw out every nice thing that she said at that point and focused solely on the fact that she criticized me. And I never let her forget that. I mean, on the way home, I told my dad about it. I told my grandma. I was really very upset. And to the life of me, I don't remember exactly what she said, but I remember how I felt about it. And I was just really humiliated. I was like, I couldn't believe that she would say that. DOD says, drop your signs in the chat. Yeah, drop your signs in the chat. Let us know who's out here. I also want to say that Virgos like to see the humor in things, and they do enjoy the lighter side of life. I don't subscribe to the notion that we're like stuffy. A lot of people say, oh, Virgos are very uptight and stuffy. I don't think I'm uptight and stuffy. I think that I am meticulous about the things that matter to me. But if we're having fun and we're letting our hair down and we're just, kicking back, I can do that. I'm not as rigid and stuffy as, one may seem, and certainly not, the way people think my sign tends to act. I don't think that I'm, very stuffy or buttoned up. To make us laugh can be a little tough, but if you succeed, we're impressed and we're interested. I think, to me, one of the most uniqueness about this sign is that we are very attracted to intelligence. And the more you show us that you have that, and not just book smart, but just people smart, able to read things, able to give another perspective on something that we don't know or we might not have thought about, is very interesting to us, in a way that intrigues us and kind of gets our attention. Because, I don't think this sign really tolerates, I was going to say something, but I'll save that. I'll save that. I'll save that. Um, I laugh at horror movie and fails. Am I mental for that? No, not at all. Not at all. Um, like I was saying before, Virgos make excellent friends and companions, but you must be worthy of their love and respect. They might be friends with a lot of people, and I do have a lot of people who I am friends with, but in reality, they only have a small circle of people that they really trust. And I totally agree with that. If a Virgo considers you a close friend, be grateful. Loyal, unselfish Virgo loves nothing more than supporting their friends, and they'll cheerfully put their loved ones' needs first, even above themselves. Hey, Sonia, welcome in. Welcome in. All right. I would also say, listen when a Virgo talks to you. They are very good listeners and find it rude when they are ignored or interrupted. Who calls you mental? Oh my God. Yeah, Yemi. Tight circle, no squares. Definitely. Definitely. Don't be pompous or stuck up. A self-sufficient Virgo cannot stand people who act spoiled rotten and feel a sense of entitlement as if the world owes them something. And while Virgos are typically well-educated and cultured, they don't tolerate pretentious people. So I was saying before, like, I don't subscribe to the notion that you have to be as book smart as I am, but you have to bring something else to the table that piques our interest. Because again, Yemi's like, preach. You have to bring something else to the table that piques our interest, because a Virgo will listen to your advice, but 9 times out of 10, they've already got the situation mapped out. And at the end of the day, they're going to do whatever is best for them. So, for example, if I ask my partner, should I pick the pink one or the black one? And they'll say, I like the black one. I'll consider that. But if I already had in my mind that I wanted to wear the pink one, I probably will wear the pink one. But don't get insulted by that. They considered your idea. Like, I considered it, but ultimately I went with my choice. Now, I will say the only opposite to that is if I'm really, truly stuck between two things, and I'm like, I just want someone to make the decision for me. Then I might just consider your suggestion and go with it. But if I already kind of have in my mind what I want, and you say the opposite, I'm probably not going to go with what you decided. Just saying. Oh, yay, little one is asleep. Congrats. That's a feat. Comprehend that even though Virgos are sensitive, we can also be very defensive. If you pick a fight with a Virgo, just because you think we look and act gentle and defenseless, baby, think again, because we have a spine of steel and a tongue to match. It is nothing nice to play with a Virgo's feelings and get on the wrong side of those feelings, because I can tell you, the ones who have faced my wrath have truly come to regret it. Because again, there's no hard feelings. I will just simply cut you off and move about my business. Oh no, Vern, you had a power outage? Oh my goodness. Also, it takes time to build enough trust for Virgo to confide in you in return. So we kind of shy away from people who kind of tell us everything all at once. We kind of want you to dose it out in baby steps. Hey, Queen Diva, welcome in, welcome in. We're talking about some Virgos today, of which I am one. So you sign in the chat. We're going to talk about Virgos, compatibilities, what we like, what we don't like, and then we're going to open it up to any questions or comments. So I was talking about opening up. You know, we're kind of a tough shell to crack, but once you have, and once we've established a trust pattern, we're all in. But be careful what you say, because if you criticize us, we will remember it and we will hold it against you. Virgo women in particular make excellent wives and mothers because of their gentle and loving nature. Their perfectionism is an asset in the kitchen. They're not shy about keeping a beautiful home and raising happy, well-mannered children. They take great pride in their domestic abilities. I was telling my partner once that I was not a cook. I kind of learned how to cook by necessity when my grandmother passed away. Oh no, I'm buffering. I don't see anything on this end. Do you have bad weather where you are, Queen Diva? Because there's nothing buffering on my end. Maybe try to come out and come back in. Maybe that'll help. But I take great pride in being able to cook and clean and care for my home and care for my partner if he were here and living with me, that the two of us can kind of together. You're getting the same problem? Really? Huh. It's raining where you are. It was raining where I am, but it could be my Wi-Fi, but I don't know. Let me see what the signal's doing. Let's just see what the signal is doing. Looks like the signal is pretty good on this end. Maybe dream here. Yeah, caffeine. I forgot about that. Audra, your mom put you in the kitchen at 10 years old? Yeah, no, I was an only child. And so I didn't know how to do that until I was forced to. Again, we love conversation. We love to have a in-depth conversation about something that is of substance, but we're not ones to talk for the sake of talking. I just did a recent challenge, and they were asking whether I like texting or talking on the phone, and I'm like, well, I talk for a living, so I would rather text because I just want to sometimes get the point across and be done with it. If you're with a partner who loves to talk, then you're kind of stuck in the situation where you actually have to pick up the phone, especially if you are having trouble communicating via text. And sometimes a lot of things can be misinterpreted via text. So in those cases, I say it's better to pick up the phone and kind of like, did you mean what you said when you said X, Y? 9 times out of 10, it's not that way. They didn't mean it that way. But again, a phone call will straighten that out. Business, you send emails back and forth to your coworker, and they're kind of trying to do shorthand and tell you what they really quickly. And sometimes it can be misconstrued as being mean. But again, it's just trying to get the thing out that they wanted to say really quickly. Thank you, Fable Lily, for coming in and for the thumbs up. Thank you for the 10 people in the room. Welcome in, welcome in. We're talking about Virgos and how we're simply the best sign of the zodiac. You fight me on that, but it's true. A Virgo will not waste their wit and charm on something they feel is inferior. That's why some people regard Virgo as boring, but it's not necessarily the fault of the Virgo, because the person in question wasn't really enamored enough to make a lasting impression. So we kind of turn off really quickly. It's like, you have to catch our attention in a quick moment, or else it's just gone. I don't know about that. Like, an argument for me can be made worse if you text or call me. Yeah, I see that. Definitely. Female, never flirt with a Virgo's man. Virgos who are in long-term relationships guard their lives and will react with hostility to anyone who threatens that relationship. Libra all day. Libras, we'll get to them in a second. I never thought that was me until recently. Or a woman. Yeah. Like, I never thought that I would be as fiercely protective of my relationship as I am, but I am. I don't like when people try to tell me what to do in my relationship. That kind of infuriates me, just because the nuances of our relationship are not there. You're seeing a microcosm of something much bigger that you have no clue about. What about Gemini? Ooh, we're going to get into all the signs in a moment as they relate to Virgos, because, your host is a Virgo. So we're going to talk about all of that. But, just give us the charm, give us some wit, give us something that will make us think. and you're halfway there. I like that. Constructive criticism. Negative criticism meant to be hurtful will not be taken kindly and will get very ugly. Never, ever insult a Virgo. Because like I said, we have tongues of steel. So we will hit the jugular. Virgos are very insightful and intuitive. So we'll always tell the truth and be really genuine in that. But, you know, sometimes the truth hurts, and we will try to be as tactful and diplomatic as we can, but we don't like people who are fake or dishonest. I don't flirt. In fact, I tend to get men blind people. Men blind people tell me men are looking at me or flirting with me. It's that bad. Okay. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yemi said he loves Gemini. Virgos, like I said, we value substance. If we're looking to date you, you must be interesting. You must be deep, a little bit mysterious, and aloof, but not so aloof that you feel like you as a Virgo aren't needed in the relationship. They will see through that and you will totally lose interest. And don't be fooled by the term the virgin sign. Virgos are typically introverts and extremely picky when selecting a lover, but they place great importance on sex and sexual compatibility. Virgos may seem shy at first, but be patient, and establishing trust will lead to a deeply intense, passionate, and exciting sex life. Virgos are unselfish and very creative in bed and take pride in keeping their lovers satisfied and fulfilling their every desire. You heard that? I flirt all the time. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, but know when to pull back the reins. Because Virgos value fidelity and trust above all in relationships. When Virgos find their true love, they will devote themselves completely and unselfishly, but they expect the same loyalty in return. You will not get a second chance if you are unfaithful with a Virgo. Don't go through their stuff. If you think a Virgo is keeping something from you, express your concerns with honesty, but don't invade their privacy. I had a boyfriend once. Hey, Candy C. We're talking about Virgos and compatibilities. Listen, Viper, Virgos are the best sign, period. They really are. But yeah, don't invade our privacy. I had a boyfriend one time go through my phone and live to regret it. You're the wrong sign. Oh, oh my goodness. Yeah. And this is for my sissy poos. Don't try to force Virgos to do anything they hate, like eating on camera, sissy poos. Virgos are fiercely independent and will not tolerate people with controlling personalities, as they have insatiable desires for success on their own terms. If they feel like you are trying to force your views on them, they will be turned off. Hey, the real sis. Hi, Isis. And if a Virgo likes you, they will let you know. They try hard to find true love and they don't play games. So that's kind of a 101 on Virgos. I'm going to open up the chat and invite those who want to come on to talk about it. Welcome in, everyone. Don't forget to smash that like button. The link to the StreamYard is in the chat. I'm going to talk about compatibility. Hey, Light Bright. Welcome in. All right. So let's talk about the other signs and their compatibility or lack thereof with Virgos. But like I said, I started out saying, taking notes, DOD, that's good. I started off by saying that we are the most compatible sign of the zodiacs. And the reason I say that is because when I looked at all of the different traits that Virgos have, and then I looked at the other signs, we basically are compatible with everyone in terms of, what they bring to the table versus what we bring to the table. It really is like we fit with everyone. So Sonia said, what about Capricorns? All right, so let's get into these other signs. Okay, so the most compatible signs with Virgos are generally Taurus, Cancer, which I don't typically agree with, Scorpio, and Capricorn. The least compatible are generally Gemini and Sagittarius. And then every other one is like, we're compatible, but we have our yins and yangs. So Virgo and Aries. So Virgo and Aries, as it relates to sexual intimacy and compatibility, an Aries may look at Virgo and think of the Virgin Mary, her chastity, and what we would call the total absence of sex. But there's nothing more asexual for Aries than a person without obvious sexual identity. To express their sexuality or feel sexual at all, Virgos need patience, verbal stimulation, and lots of foreplay. This is where the Aries comes in as a brute with no manners or tact whatsoever to sweep them off of their feet with a passionate nature that doesn't look superficial or completely unattractive. So the real question is, how did these two, if these two are together, ever get attracted to each other in the first place? Their intimate life can be good only in cases where Aries accepts to wait and communicate about things they don't find important at all. And then Virgos, if they're disappointed in their previous relationships, they need to express what it is so that they can have that open and honest communication. And that's the only way that a Virgo and an Aries can be compatible. In cases where they need to overcome their sexual difficulties and stay together amongst all odds, it's trust that's going to be that real big barrier in the relationship. And Aries needs to be honorable and straightforward, except in those rare cases where they really can't contain their sexual appetites. But in most relationships, the Virgo is obviously going to be faithful. They hate being lied to, as we said before. And this is why they need to have that open and honest trust and honesty in the relationships. They really need to communicate. In terms of, Margaret, you're onto something about my son, the Aries. Yeah. These two can be annoying sometimes to each other, the Aries and the Virgo, and that might annoy everyone else around them. When you think about a partner who brings out kind of the best in you, sometimes we can be the worst match because the Aries partner is impulsive, and their readiness to fight and the tendency to lose their minds over something that might not be that big of a deal really doesn't compute to a Virgo. So there's going to be never-ending talks. There's going to be confusion and misunderstandings. Virgo likes to keep things clean. And an Aries is almost like an animal in their cage, kind of like pounce, ready to get out. The Aries will never change their nature or their priorities. And sometimes the Virgo will seem like a crazy person screaming with gloves on and a huge bottle of antiseptic. But the thing is, before they even get to that stage, they'll probably repel each other and each challenge each other in terms of what they want out of the relationship, which is interesting because when it comes to emotions, like emotionally, we're compatible. Virgo is primarily, like I said, an intellectual sign. And the Aries usually mixes up love and sexual attraction, so it's hard to achieve a quality emotional attachment to them. The best chance for love would be just really being silent and observing and getting a rational advantage in knowing the person that they're going to start this relationship with. So it would be a good idea for Aries to kind of think before acting, and getting to know a Virgo as friends and going through that emotional experience with them prior to them becoming a couple. When an Aries forms a friendship and goes into a sexual relationship with them, they tend to be more gentle and considerate than just going into that sexual relationship. And so therefore, the Aries will be a little more tolerant to the quirky natures of a Virgo. And that substance will bring a more romantic relationship. Virgos and Aries both work hard. They value ambition. They make great work colleagues. They have a great attitude, and they kind of complement each other in terms of the intelligence of an Aries. They like to tease each other and have a great laugh. They like to have shared activities with each other. They like to go out and maybe spend time in nature. They have regular intimate relationships because it's kind of healthy and cathartic for them to kind of show their love in that way. But again, it came out of that friendship. So out of that friendship comes that sexual energy and compatibility. I think that an Aries and a Virgo, the relationship will never be boring, that's for sure. And it has a potential for a good future if taken seriously. Virgo will incorporate some of that Aries energy, and the Aries will allow Virgos to teach them how to kind of organize their thoughts and communicate calmly and rationally. And, there's a relationship that actually could last, but the outcome depends on their ability to really understand each other and relax and have fun. So now, interesting thing to note between the Virgo and Aries. My dad was actually an Aries, and he was very intelligent. And I think that's what really made him and I kind of click together, because I'm attracted to intelligence. And so when my dad would talk, and he would talk about any subject, and I'd be like listening, like all ears. And then he also had this creative side to him. So he would like create poetry, and, he would write poems for me. And I would just sit there for hours and just listen. And my mom would say, even as a little girl, he would, read to me, or talk to me, and I would fall asleep because I was so enthralled in what he had to say that, I would fall asleep because I was, fixated on, what he was saying, and his voice, and what he was communicating to me. And I was just enthralled by that whole thing. So it's an interesting mix. And my first best friend was an Aries as well. So I think for friendships, that's one that really kind of stands the test of time in terms of a sign that I really respect and admire, and feel like they are as interesting to me as I am to them. Oh, I'm sorry, Lightbright, you're buffering. All right, so let's try another match. I heard Capricorn. So let's try Virgo and Capricorn. So Virgo and Capricorn. A sexual connection between a Virgo and a Capricorn might be great if they weren't both so stiff and strict when it comes to sex. Even though they don't lack the patience or understanding for each other, there seems to be just that one shred of pure emotion missing in their contact. Very often, these partners don't get to have sex because they have more reason not to than to give in. But the beauty of their sex life, when they manage to synchronize, is the depth both partners are capable of, that links directly to the depths of emotion that they will show through the act of sex. Their main goal is to find someone who doesn't take sex lightly, someone who isn't superficial towards them and cherishes them as they should be cherished. There's a certain shyness to both of them, and that is something that will make them both go crazy for each other if they only reach the point behind the rational distance they normally share. Virgo will bring enough change to their sex life as a mutable sign, ready to experiment with someone who is so reliable and respectful. This is a perfect relationship for both partners to relax and try out new things if they find a way to open up and communicate in the beginning. Capricorn is a sign that can be trusted. There's nothing shady about them, nothing unreliable or quick to turn to deceit. So Virgo has no reason to be unfaithful except when they suffer from their own lack of faith in emotion that can't be controlled. Even if this is the case, the Capricorn partner will inspire them to be the best they can be and as faithful as possible. They will need some time to get to know each other's habits and build the trust they both wish for. but when they do, they will rarely break it for anyone or anything else. When it comes to communication, Virgo deciding what's next to discuss, and Capricorn will be deciding when the subject is resolved. They are like a perfect mechanism, like gears fitting together to solve any equation the world has to give. Their passion lies within these roles, and when they find an understanding in other areas of their relationship, the intellectual one can be stimulating to the point of absolute bliss. This is a couple who knows that any problem is there to be solved and anything broken is there to be fixed. When it comes to emotion, the incredible thing that this couple shares is their discovery of one another. They'll peel layer by layer each other's hearts and be more and more fascinated by that mathematical equation and something that they hadn't noticed before. And they will be side by side as they kind of unwrap that treasure within and get to know each other on a more deeper and higher level. Hi, the Perkins family for life. Welcome in. The life of Jody. Welcome in. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button. We're talking about signs and compatibilities. I'm going through the Capricorn and Virgo. In regards to values, they both value practicality, grounding, money, and rational investments. The main difference here is that they need to resolve the Capricorn's goals versus the Virgo's point of view. Capricorn doesn't understand Virgo's lack of motivation and their lack of needing to claim the leading position. So there will be a little bit of push and pull in terms of like money and financials. But the most important thing is to really focus on those positive activities and a routine that makes them both kind of healthy and happy. Sharon Val, hello, welcome in. Yes, come on, Virgos, Scorpios, I see y'all out there. All right. So Virgo and Capricorns are both earth signs. So they kind of follow each other's pace kind of perfectly. Even if things between them seem slow, they build respect, they build trust, they build love on that foundation of mutual analysis and detailed examination. The search for perfection can be ended in this relationship because they're each going to give each other the time to listen to each other well and to meet the expectations that need to be met. If both of the partners are kind of stiff and lose sight of the importance of the emotional, mellow kind of approach to life, this relationship can still make it through the tough times and the weather the storms. But in most cases, they will give each other the time to grow out of it and grow old together. Caffeine and Sarcasm says, my ex-husband is a Virgo, I'm a Capricorn. It was amazing while it was amazing, but when it turned into a nightmare. Yeah, that's kind of what I am hearing about Virgos and Capricorns. I never had an experience with a Capricorn romantically, but I've had friendships with Capricorns. And again, we kind of get each other when we get each other. So I can definitely see how my partner would be like that as well. All right, who should we try next? Compatible. Y'all throw out your signs. I forgot who you are. You're spot on. Thank you. All right, who else? Mm, Babel Lily, let's do you and your boyfriend, Sagittarius and Gemini. New hubby is a Taurus. Oh, okay. All right. What did I say? Oh, Gemini. All right, let's do Gemini. Ooh, Virgo and Gemini. Virgo and Gemini are both ruled by Mercury, not a very sexual planet at first glance. However, this affects them in different ways. Virgo is a feminine sign, shy and sensitive. Their sexual relationship is that they need to communicate. If they find a language that they both understand, they might agree on the way their sexual life is going to be progressing. However, there's a big chance that endless discussions will not lead to their mutual understanding, leaving them distant and not interested to share any sexual experiences. If they fall in love, they will use tough tenderness and respect to make their sex life work, but it will still rarely be satisfying for both partners. They are both curious, but not in the same way. While Gemini would often like to be free to get naked and run around the streets, a Virgo would prefer if everyone kept their bodily fluids to themselves. To top it all, they both need verbal stimulation, but the words each of them would like to hear aren't necessarily what the other person has to say. Ha! That's interesting. I'm going to shout out my seasoned Bellas at this time. Running across your screen are all my seasoned Bellas. You're Virgo, your wife's a Sagittarius. Ooh, okay, let's do that next. Sagittarius, I have to remember that. Okay. So getting back to Virgo and Gemini. The key here is for Gemini to get back to planet Earth and respect their sensitive nature of their partner. They can build security and be free to be who they are at the same time. And a Virgo will open up so they can find a way to stay together. I wouldn't say that their communication is bad, but if they do have a fight, they will be good at talking. Their view on intellect could be a bit different though, because Gemini has a superficial nature that could be seen as extremely stupid to their Virgo partner. This will set the Gemini off to be even more irritating on purpose because they are everything but stupid. In return, Gemini will see Virgo's obsession with details and think of them as crazy. Virgo will not probably fight this, but sit in their room and think about it and stew. They need to find a way together to recognize each other's flaws as good qualities, and they will be there to help each other if their partner needs help. When these minds do come together, there's no problem that will stay unsolved, for together, the sign has a mission to unite and transform heavenly ideas into real life and to lift human knowledge step by step towards divinity. This is a relationship that will be grounded and well thought of. It shouldn't be forgotten that the Virgo exalts Mercury, so Virgo can exalt their Gemini partner if only they wanted to land. Their biggest problems are speed and fear. The Gemini simply doesn't stay in one place for long enough to build an emotional bond or recognize that what they feel and how they feel. And a Virgo will try hard to dismiss it because they don't think they deserve any of it. Both signs have a small, fast planet in common, which is Mercury. And if they touch each other's hearts, they will understand the partner's occasional need to run off or run away. Both Virgo and Geminis are fans of intelligence, resourcefulness, and practicality. However, their approach to basic intelligence is different, and they won't always recognize it in the same way. Their relationship can show exactly how relative intelligence is. Their meeting point is actually in their emotional intelligence. They value rationality, the person's ability to reason, and the practical sense and use of their brain. Both Virgos and Geminis love to read, so they will visit a library once in a while. Virgos will probably stay in there a bit longer, not even noticing that your Gemini partner got lost. You that Virgo suffers from will make them question everything and everyone and every activity that the Gemini partner will want to take part into. Then the Gemini will feel like they would rather go alone than to push the Virgo to come along with them. If they are mutable and have a tendency to change interests and relationships, this can allow them to stay on the move together. If the Virgo is open enough to enjoy exciting and new experiences, and the Gemini finds a way to stay grounded. Their mutual love for Mercury is what's going to bind them, and ultimately it's probably going to be what tears them apart because they both tend to overthink things instead of following their hearts. Both of them are mostly in their minds, each in their own way, and need to respect each other to the point where no one's intelligence is judged on a superficial level. If they do fall in love, it will be heaven on earth. All right. Let's do one more. Virgo and Sagittarius. Let's try that. Okay. So, Virgo and Sagittarius partners could actually have a lot of fun. Even though the Virgo can be quite demanding and critical, their sex life can be satisfying for both. The good thing about their connection lies in the fact that these signs are ruled by planets that also rule their opposing signs. This means that they will feel attraction and a need to build and begin a sexual relationship first. The main problem is going to be the difference in their elements. Virgo is an earth sign, and as such, doesn't often take too many risks, while Sagittarius is a fire sign, and they will passionately force things until they reach their goal. It doesn't always work out well in their sexual contact, for a Virgo might feel pushed to do things they don't want to do. The Sagittarius, in turn, may be turned off by the practical and static nature of a Virgo. The most important thing these partners should remember is that they both need to be who they are, and they need the room to do that. With two such giving people, the sex life will come down to who will satisfy whom best as soon as they deal with the unrealistic expectations. Virgo doesn't look like a zodiac sign that will easily feel trapped, but their mutual quality makes them impatient and always in search for a change. They cannot be held in place for long, any more than a Sagittarius can. The main difference being the degree of sacrifice they are willing to make. Out of these emotions, both partners will start feeling the need to be with someone different, And this is a relationship that probably will have the biggest potential for adultery unless incredible guilt stops them first. Hi, friendly black man, Queen Ariana. Welcome in. Communication followed by mutual respect is their only chance of building a trustful bond. In terms of communication and intellect, the most relevant fact for these partners to remember is that their mutual respect is the most important thing to hold on to. If they disrespect one another, Virgo will observe their Sagittarius partner as a weirdo, stupid enough to run away from anything that has depth, while a Sagittarius will look at their Virgo partner as a weirdo, stupid enough to hold on to irrelevant things. They both need to realize that each of them have a different role, and that for each role, these stupid, quote unquote, characteristics represents the best possible base. Both of these partners are considered unemotional, but this is mostly because of their need to rationalize, analyze, and use their minds to explain everything that happens to them. They rarely rely on their hearts or gut feelings. Virgos need someone who's truly emotional so that they can show their own deep feelings, and Sagittarius seems to be uninterested in the needs of the Virgo or simply unaware of them because they act as though they are purely rational. The trick here is for both partners to see behind the act in order to find each other's hearts and to understand what they expect from one another. Virgo and Sagittarius strangely have similar values based on their mutual qualities. This is why they will both treasure someone who is able to adapt, change, and move, which is definitely something that the other will find in each other as they start their relationship. As highly mental signs, they will also both value clarity of mind and intelligence in general. Their approach is going to be different in as much as the Virgo values depth and detailed analysis, while the Sagittarius will value the width of one's mind. Even though they differ in things they value greatly, the Virgo valuing practicality and the Sagittarius valuing vision and focus will be enough to ground both of them to feel good when they're together. So the relationship between a Virgo and Sagittarius is not a usual happy ending or emotional story. There are going to be many challenges in the way, their biggest being their emotional lack of understanding and their possible lack of respect. Still, they're going to find ways to show emotion and share them in the same pace and understandable way. They could actually have a lot of fun together. The communication is often exciting, and they both have a lot to say to each other, but their rationality may distract them from an actual search for love. If they discover how well they complement each other, they just might be able to stay together for a long time. Now, if you recall, even Beyonce said she was in love with a Sagittarius. And that would be Jay-Z. So I don't think that was far off from each other. Let's try Virgo and Scorpio. Okay. So Virgo and Scorpio, in terms of sexual and intimacy compatibility, if there is something a Scorpio would like to fight for, it is the chastity of a Virgo. This is a very interesting couple in the domain of sexual activity, one of them hiding their sexuality, the other acting as sex itself. Even though Scorpio can be rough to a Virgo, making them feel uncomfortable and even violated in some ways. In most relationships between representatives of these two signs, there is enough rationality to the approach of Virgo to make this connection possible. Virgos look for someone emotional to share a life with, and if they share this emotion with Scorpio through their sexual relations, they will both find sex between them extremely satisfying. The best time for Virgo and Scorpio to create enough safety and emotion in their sexual encounters is in the situation where they are truly each other's first real emotional experience. If they surprise each other with the power of emotions beneath the surface that both of them carry around, they will have a hard time ever separating from one another. The biggest problem of these two partners is in their relationship to Venus, and that could lead to loveless acts of sex that both partners are not truly satisfied with. They need to show love and be tender enough, enjoying themselves enough, or they might move on to someone else they love more. When it comes to trust is a very challenging issue for both of these signs, and this is something that they can finally talk about with each other. There is a strong understanding here for one of them fears betrayal while the other hates it and gets vindictive as soon as any sign of dishonesty is in sight. The best thing about this connection is in their ability to understand each other's silence and not ever wanting to let the other one down. Interesting, right? Virgo and Scorpio in communication and intellect. Virgo is a talkative sign, no kidding, ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, but they hold on to a much more quiet and intellectual sign than we might anticipate of Mercury. Scorpio represents a deep silence of the flow of a river, and they both will have a strong urge to jump into the depths of silence together. Their intellectual contact is stimulating and often influencing their sex life and their truly deep emotions. It is almost as if they wouldn't be able to form a relationship without this nonverbal communication that makes them so perfect for each other. Both of these signs are prepared to go all the way, Virgo in their intellectual depth and Scorpio in everything in life. This will inspire them to search for all sorts of answers together, analyzing each other's psyche and determining the source of their problems with the world or with each other. Through carefully chosen words, they can help each other heal or regenerate from difficult or even devastating experiences. And it's a good thing for both of these signs to have each other in times of need. If someone can't reach the emotions hidden behind the extremely rational approach of a Virgo, it's going to be the Scorpio. So again, going back to what I said earlier about my grandmother being a Scorpio and me being a Virgo, she kind of got it without me even verbalizing it. And I think, it talks about it a little bit more in this section. It says that the ability hides in both of them the ability to dig up things. The problem here is that they remind each other of each other's imperfection. Scorpio is a sign in which the moon falls at the same time the sign of Venus deters. So all emotion gets lost here, as if the Virgo's sign is a black hole that they can't get enough. The Virgo partner is already sensitive and in love, does everything possible to satisfy their Scorpio partner. So they too will feel like going into the black hole with no gratitude whatsoever. But there is no other sign that can sense the needs of a Scorpio better than a Virgo, and no other sign that can dig up the emotions in a Virgo better than a Scorpio. An emotional relationship between them can turn out to be truly dark and difficult, but also incredibly strong and intimate. The only thing that can bore their emotions to death is the criticism that they're both prone to. And when it comes to values, both of these partners will value depth, intellect most of all. There is nothing in this world as exciting as conversations that are so intense and so challenging for their minds. Most of the time, they will agree on things that they value most, although they might stumble upon a huge problem when they get to the point of throwing out the trash. Even though Scorpio doesn't normally acclimate to things and loves throwing things away, those they hold on to can be quite disgusting to a Virgo. Just imagine as their first child is born and a Scorpio wants to frame that dried out residue of an umbilical cord. Do you think a Virgo will want to wake up in their house with that every morning? I'm going to tell you no. They would not. For the same reason, their values might differ. Their daily routine might also differ. Virgos will clean. That's a fact, simply because a clean house creates a clear mind, and Scorpio won't have much trouble fitting in unless their personal belongings are questioned. However, they choose places they want to visit or clubs they want to go to. Their choices are going to greatly differ. It is not hard for them to compromise to keep the relationship going, but it can be quite dark and demanding for both partners if they don't start willingly hanging out, tidying up, and keeping the relationship both interesting and happy. The changeable nature of a Virgo will be settled down by the fixed quality of the Scorpio partner, who will keep their relationship exciting for a very long time. In general, there is a problem that these partners share when it comes to Venus, and their relationship is also a reflection of these troubles. This can lead to all sorts of emotional blackmail, their tendency to control each other's lives, and if not, then the criticism that makes them both feel guilty and simply sad. The best thing that they can do is decide that they value each other and be thankful for one another in the relationship. If they develop that strong sense of gratitude, the relationship might be extremely deep, extremely exciting, and truly appreciated by both partners. Hey, Viper Black. We're talking about compatibility. I just finished the Virgo and Scorpio compatibility. Libra. Let's see, Libra. Okay, Libra. Let's see what they say. So the sexual relationship between a Virgo and a Libra just doesn't seem like a good choice. Virgo's an earth sign ruled by Mercury, relying heavily on their intellect while bringing Venus to its fall. Libra is an air sign ruled by Venus and couldn't be more distant from a Virgo's shy nature or practicality when it comes to sex. They will probably be driven crazy by each other, one of them obsessively to keep things clean and looking as if they were scared of any mutual emotional contact, and then the other will rely on their strict search for spiritual love and a partner they can really and truly talk to. Most often, they are not even attracted to each other, and when they do begin a sexual relationship, they have to face the challenge of speed. The Virgo will want to move slowly, and even through their mutual quality makes them pretty adaptable. It's not often to reach Libra's speed of air, but they need to find a middle ground, which will rely on Libra's exaltation of Venus and slowing down, and Virgo's willingness to adapt and change more quickly. If they find that perfect timing, both lovers will still end up unsatisfied. Virgo was expecting a fairy tale connection, seeing the image Libra shows, and will find many faults in that partner's approach. The Libra's self-esteem doesn't really tolerate that much criticism, and they will probably see Virgo as boring, stiff, and unaware of any emotional connection that they wanted to make. For this sexual relationship to work, they need to coordinate the emotions that they give and receive. Only then will they be able to satisfy each other. Virgo will dismiss each word that the Libra says. They don't understand each other's primal natures, but it's not so much an issue of trust, but it comes down to it when the dust settles. There's no way to explain shy introvert Virgo why Libra has to have everything out in the open. It's even less clear why so much attention must be brought to their relationship, or why their Libra partner flirts with everyone that looks decent. On the other hand, Libra doesn't really trust the moodiness of a Virgo and think their partner's fear of expression is something to hide. Virgos and Libras will understand each other perfectly for as long as they take the time to responsibly discuss serious matters in life, such as professional choices and their income. This can keep them in a pretty good state for some time, especially if they share the same professional interests or have a goal to support each other in learning or advancements of any kind. Even if they touch the issue of emotional contact, they will see eye to eye for a while, but both of them value smart choices and rational conversation. The true emotions will surface in one of these partners, and they might begin to realize that communication between them is no longer possible. As soon as one of them has to deal with a personal issue, the other one will freeze, losing all ability